Hi everyone, I'm Josh, and this is Josh Wright Piano TV. Thanks so much for joining me today. I wanted to talk about 9 tips to being more confident on camera. This was kind of an out of the ordinary request by one of our viewers, but I wanted to compile a list of little thoughts and ideas that could help you if you're wanting to record tutorials, or if you're wanting just to record vlogs, or just record yourself talking for a school project or whatever it might be. So let's dive into the 9 tips. The first one is practice talking to yourself. I can't even tell you how many times I have practiced my little catchphrases at the beginning of each of my videos, like, "Hey everyone, I'm Josh, and welcome to Josh Wright Piano TV." I've said that hundreds of times, and I'll even just, when I'm first coining a new phrase or whatever that I use in my videos, I will practice that. Or if any of you have any questions, please let me know. My email's josh@joshwrightpiano.com. Have a great week. Good luck in your practice sessions. That's another one. Or, welcome to Pro Practice, your guide to piano mastery. I'm Josh Wright, and today's episode is based on, or welcome to the VIP Masterclass series. Today's episode is requested by so-and-so, and they asked. So those are things that I've practiced a lot, and I'll just practice them when I'm driving, or just getting ready in the morning, or even just saying it to myself when I'm alone. I don't want to look like too big of a crazy person, even though I am. The next thing that I would recommend, if you're really uncomfortable with being on camera, is to use a teleprompter. So I'm going to show you kind of a nice version. So this is the pad prompt. Let's see. It is called Pad Prompter, and this is pretty expensive, unless you're serious about recording. So what you do is, this is like a little piece of glass right here. Oh, this is so awkward. Okay, so that protects the glass. You put these little things up right here, and then you put your DSLR camera right there. It just fits over that, and then you put your phone there and you read the script. The only time I use this is for ads. So I don't run too many ads, but I do run some ads for a webinar that I teach those 10 tips. I mention it pretty much at the end of every one of these videos, but just trying to help people improve their piano skills. And when you have to record for 60 seconds, and that's like the ad limit, then you want to be super concise, and you don't want to be rambling on and on. So a teleprompter can really help you if you're nervous in front of the camera. That's kind of an art unto itself, learning how to read a script very artistically and not sounding like you're reading a script and what was that next word, like that. So a script. And by the way, I just use an app on my phone. You just set your phone, by the way, in that little slot, and then it mirrors it up onto that piece of glass, and you just read it. It's really nice, and you can't see the words scrolling even in your DSLR camera. So another one, you can just use that app and read it right from the app if you're filming with an iPhone. And with iPhone or Android or whatever camera you're using these days, the camera is so good. I don't see, unless you're making videos for high-end video production, and I don't even consider what I do high-end video production, I don't think you really need anything beyond smartphone camera these days, because they can shoot in 4K. It's just incredible. Even on my DSLR, I usually shoot in 1080p because I put out so many of these tutorials. So that's tip number 2, is scripting your videos. We'll go through a lot of these a lot quicker than tip number 2. Next one is use hand motions. This is a lot more engaging to watch than if I just sit here like this and talk to you holding still. I look really awkward, like I'm trying to hide something. So something I try to do is use hand motions, but not be like too crazy with them, because then it gets like distracting. So a little bit of hand motion is kind of nice. And one of my students actually told me to do that. She's like, "Josh, you're sitting too still in your," because this was when I was first filming my very first ad. I was very nervous. And she said, "You need to talk with your hands a little bit." And it does. I've noticed speakers that I really am focused on, like motivational speakers, they use their hands a bit to demonstrate particular points and to bring emphasis to something, so that hand motion can accentuate what you're saying. Number 4 is make a bullet point list of things you want to talk about. I'm doing that right here. I'm reading from a bulleted list. Number 5, act like you're talking to a friend or one of your students, laugh, get serious, use differing speeds and volumes with your voice. So what you can do, if you really want to emphasize a point, you can be loud like that, or you can be extremely soft. And you can hear the emotion in my voice. You can also laugh like that if you're being silly, or you can get extremely serious. So I'm not trying to be fake right here. I'm just trying to show you guys some different emotions. So you want to talk as if you're conversing with someone. So right now, as I'm talking to this camera, I'm imagining you guys on the other end watching it. I'm not just talking to this piece of equipment that's sitting here in my room. You have to pretend that you're talking to a friend. So that's tip number 5. Number 6, it ties into number 5, but focus on others, create value for them, make them feel like they're your friends, you care about them. I consider this channel a community of pianists and people wanting to learn more about music. There are some viewers of this channel who are more talented than I am. I had a kid in my VIP Masterclass series course for about a year who wasn't famous at all. Now he's a really famous pianist. He won second or third prize in the Leeds International Piano Competition, and I was like, why are you in this group? And he's like, watching you teach helped me to take those ideas and implement them more into my practicing. So I imagine people like him, or even just a student starting on day 1 when I'm making these videos, to try to put myself in your shoes, because it's hard for me to remember when I was 5 years old taking my first lesson, what that felt like. So trying to actually show that you care. I actually do care. Don't just pretend to care. You actually care about what your audience wants from you, what they need from you, what they might find beneficial from you, and use your talents to bless their lives. That's number 6. Number 7, if you're stumbling a lot, like I talk really fast in these videos and I keep going, but if you're stumbling, just slow it down. I can't even tell you, especially when I'm filming ads, I'll just kind of slow it down a little bit, even though I need to get through a lot of material in those 60 seconds when I'm doing like a Facebook ad. I'll just slow things down a bit, pause, take a breath. Actually, when I take a breath, you guys are probably more on the edge of your seat than when I'm just rambling really, really fast. So pauses and silences can actually speak volumes. I can't remember, maybe it was Leonard Bernstein. I have no idea. I'm blanking right now, but he said silences are the most powerful moments in music or something like that. Might have been a famous composer. I can't remember. Of course, Bernstein is a famous composer, of course, but it might have been like Beethoven or something. Whoever knows that. I know someone watching this knows that. Put it in the comments below. Okay, practice on number 8 is practice recording on a consistent schedule, even if you don't plan to post what you are recording. So practice talking in front of that camera. Sometimes when you're just rehearsing, like point number 1, practice talking to yourself, it's a lot less stress. As soon as that record red button goes on, there's a little bit of scariness to that moment. So practice recording with something on, actually making the recording, watching back, critiquing yourself, and that's a great method that I use just with my piano students to get their playing better, and it can help you with your speech and become more confident on camera. And finally, the last tip comes from a great marketer named Gary Vaynerchuk. He wrote a book called Crush It that I read all the way back in 2009, which kind of spurred me to start posting these YouTube videos. He's a really inspiring guy. Got kind of a mouth on him, so if you don't like cursing, don't listen to too much of his stuff. He has some edited stuff, but that guy is really brilliant when it comes to marketing and just caring about people and being generous and having gratitude. And he always says document over create. I like that a lot, because what he's saying is people get crippled by the idea of, oh my gosh, this Instagram post or this YouTube video or whatever it is that you're posting has to be perfect. And they kind of have this paralysis by analysis, meaning they overanalyze everything to the point where they get so discouraged that they don't post anything at all. These videos are far from perfect. You've watched me pause and stumble and have to think and be awkward with setting that teleprompter up just in this video. But people like seeing things that are real. One of my friends runs a really successful online film school called Full-Time Filmmaker, and his stuff is clean. I mean, he scripts every video. He doesn't have a single breath extra in his videos. And that can be intimidating to watch how good of quality his is. And for me, with how many of you are writing in requests of various things, I would be spending all day editing if I was to take my production value with all the text and everything that he does. And maybe that's just an excuse and I'm lazy, but I would rather put out more content answering all of your questions than to have the content be slightly cleaner. Of course, content is always king, and you want to make sure that your content has value. You don't want to just put out a bunch of garbage, but you have to look at the production value. If you don't have the editing skills, or you don't have the highest end microphone or camera or whatever it might be, don't let that stop you from just documenting what you want to say. Don't feel like you need to be doing a high-end production every time you go to record something for social media. You can have those, and I do think you should have those, like my pro practice videos and VIP, well, the pro practice videos and VIP videos are very much concise and to the point, and I prepare for each of those videos. YouTube, it's more of a discussion dialogue with you guys. I guess it's not true dialogue, but it's much more ad-libbed like this than the pro practice ones are. Pro practice also has the overhead camera cropped in with the side angle view, the logo, all of that, the intro and outro saying pro practice with the animation. I mean, those are a little bit higher end value, but I also charge for those videos, so I want to make sure that they are premium, but I also don't feel like I need to make every single YouTube video super high in production with a ton of different subtitles on every video or whatever it might be, because I would be spending a lot more time doing that and I wouldn't be able to get to all of your questions. So here are 9 points. Again, real quick, just go through them. Practice talking to yourself. Script your videos. Use hand motions. Make a bullet point list to read from. Act like you're talking to a friend. Focus on others and show that you care. Slow down if you stumble. Practice recording on a consistent schedule, and then document over create. Those are the 9 tips for being more confident on camera. If any of you have any questions, my email is josh@joshwrightpiano.com. Thanks so much for joining me today. I will also leave 4 links in the description below. The first one is for a webinar training featuring 10 of my favorite tips to take your playing to that next level. It's kind of early on in 2020. So if you're looking to take your skills to that next level this year, that would be a great webinar to kick things off and have you start implementing some of the most effective practice methods that I use every day in my practice and with my students. The next 2 links will be for 2 of my paid courses, Pro Practice and the VIP Masterclass series. You can check each of those out. And then the last link is for all the gear I use to record these videos, and also piano books that I recommend, CDs, books, just reading material that I like as well. If any of you have any questions, again, my email is josh@joshwrightpiano.com. Have a great week. Good luck in your practice sessions.